My name is Dylan Strauss.
I'm Nicole. I'm a Rotarian. I'm on the board. I work for GIS, and I'm a Strive mentor as well.
What is GIS?
General insurance. Oh, well, there you go.
I'm not afraid to talk. I'm Deb Bass. I'm with White Realtors. They're in Michigan City, and I'm a guest of Mass. And thank you for having me.
Also, she may be potential members, so we gotta put that in.
No problem.
We know each other.
They're all
by-
potential members.
Let's go to your table.
Hi, I'm Matt Kubik. I'm a Purdue University Professor Emeritus, and I'm a proud Rotarian. And I'm so happy to be part of the Strive program. And I have a guest today who is actually Terry Wolf's Strive student, but I'm happy to have this student as my guest.
All right. Well, why don't you stand up then?
It's your turn.
Right. I'm Adrian and I'm a Strive.
Hi, I'm Paige Wiley. I'm a Strive student.
I'm Clarence Folsom, Director of the Business EDC, for the year, here for 10 years in 2 states.
What's EDC?
Corporation.
Not everybody here knows.
Hi, I'm Kathleen Doyle Thorson. I'm a guest of Clarence's and I'm representing Insights Foundation today. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Steve Scott. I'm also representing the Dukes Arts Foundation. I am retired from the Goodman Theater in Chicago after about a century and a half. And this year I'm the artistic director for Dukes Art Theater, and I'm a guest of Francis also. Good to meet all of you.
I'm Susie Vance, a Rotarian, past president, and internally in charge of the Strive program, I think. One of the things I want to say to every Strive student and Strive mentor is please exchange all the information that you have to so that you'll show up a week from Monday to our first dinner. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Jameer Steele, and I'm a Strive student.
Hi, my name is Vegas Caston. I'm not a Rotarian, I'm a new mentor, and I do know some of the folks here, but this is my mentoree, so I hope we have a good couple years.
Good afternoon, Angie Nelson Deitch. I am a Strive mentor and this is my mentoree. I'm not a Rotarian, but hopefully at some point in time I will be, and I'm on the city council here in Michigan City. And I know most of you, most of the adults.
All right, well, thank you all. My name is Jim Wellborn. I'm president of the club. And we're gonna go right on to the speaker. So do you want to introduce the speaker for us?
Jim, should we have the Marquette students introduce themselves?
Oh, yes, I thought they did when they went around.
Well,
Let's have a student of us. You guys gotta come up front. You gotta talk. So step up here, ladies and gentlemen.
No. This is the weekly.
Hello, I'm Colin Flanagan from Marquette, and I play soccer and golf.
I'm Leah Lawson, and I'm also a student at Marquette.
So that one, the Dunes Art Theater, our Dunes Art Foundation. A lot of people don't know, we have summer theater here for over 70 years. And so every summer they have a number of productions right out of high school. And we've gone through, I'm on the board, disclosure, past chairman. And so we like to see arts evolve in our community, and it has evolved visual, performance, musical, because arts is a great part of any community, and it helps provide opportunities for people who want to be creative, whether it's architecture, people want to be developers, people want to do in education. Arts is a major component of that. So I'm always a big supporter of the arts. Comes with a lot of accolades. I can just give you a few there. But before I do speaker, the current chairman of the board is Miss Catherine Dolia. She's a designer here in town, so that's Catherine. But I want to introduce Steve Scott. He's our current artist director, and what he does, he puts together all the productions for us. And as he mentioned, he has over 50 years in the field. I've done over 3 productions across the United States. He is a former producer of the Goodman Theater in Chicago. The theater, that's a big deal. Where he's now on the board of trustees. For 20 years, he's been a faculty member of the Theater Conservatory and College of Performing Arts, Roosevelt University, taught at Columbia College, Northwestern, Theater School at DePaul, Loyola University, Latin School of Chicago, serving various panels, National Arts Foundation, Illinois Arts Council, Chicago Office of Fine Arts, Pew Charitable Trust, United States Artists. So Steve is well grounded in the arts world, and we're very, very fortunate to have him here in this city working us to provide some really great quality productions for us. So Steve, please come on up and tell us about what's going to happen at the Dunes Art Foundation Summer Theater next year, what you got planned for us.
Oh, can I speak to you? Talk amongst yourselves. I would have situated myself. There we go.
That's right.
Okay, I'm tired now. I'm sorry. I can't talk. Well, once again, it's lovely to meet all of you, and I am very excited at a Rotary Club meeting. I actually began my career many, many years ago in a little tiny theater in Colorado, in southern Colorado. And one of my jobs as artistic director there was to go and talk to the Rotary Club every month. So I feel like I'm kind of coming home. If we could just have mountains in the background, I would feel much better. We got the lake, which is a lot better, you know, because the lake is soothing, mountains are kind of scary. I have been working with the Dunes since I retired from the Goodman in 2017. I've directed several shows there. Last, I became a member of the board, and this year, for various reasons, I have decided I was asked to become artistic director, and I could not be happier to do that. At our table earlier, somebody said we are coming from a really large theater like the Goodman, and the Goodman is a pretty big place, to a really small theater. I don't think they come much smaller than the Dunes Summer Theater. I said something like, well, you know, theaters are all the same. But they're really not. I loved working at the Goodman Theater, but my heart is really with small theaters because they are in the community really trying to affect change. And I think that's what excited me about working for the Dunes. Because the principles of the Dunes are very much like the principles of the Rotary Club, to become part of the community and to try to affect change in that community. The theater has always been an agent of change because the theater is one of the few places we can all gather as a group now and experience stories and experience people that we don't know and lives of history that we don't know other than having read about them in kind of the first person, and to really start to understand why different people do what they do. The main thing we have to sell in the theater is empathy. To really understand, not just intellectually, but emotionally, why people different from us make the choices that they do, what their lives are like. So when you go to the theater, you have an opportunity to kind of step into the shoes of somebody else and experience life through their eyes. And I think that's most effectively done in small theaters where you're close to the action, where you really feel like a community in that room. At the Dunes, we of course produce plays every summer, and the Dunes actually is the longest producing summer theater in the Midwest, as far as I can tell. We have been producing continuously for the last 70 years, except for 2020 when nobody was producing anything, but we'll just forget about that. After COVID, we came back last year and did a season of outdoor theater, which was great. We're going to continue some of that this year. But this year, we're coming back with a full season indoors in our building, which was built in 1939. It's kind of a historic place itself now. But we also offer classes for young people, and not necessarily to turn them into movie stars, although that would be good for the endowment down the road. You know, it's always nice to have a billionaire or two in your pocket. But mostly because theater classes allow students to kind of discover who they are, discover their strengths, discover what it's like to work with somebody else, because the theater is, if nothing else, a very collaborative art. It's a way of students kind of understanding what's different about different people and how to deal with that. In God's world today, we can use some of that, you know, as we become more and more divided by various things. I think theater training is good, not just for people who want to become actors and designers. And if you want a job, just give me a call, okay? I know people. So, but for everybody to understand what it's like to work with a group, to exchange ideas in a place that's safe to exchange ideas, rather than where you're going to get attacked on Facebook for something that you said. To really collaborate as a whole, as a family, to create something. It's an exhilarating feeling. And I've seen lots and lots of kids who were not doing particularly well academically in school, who thrived in this kind of environment. And that's the kind of environment we create with our classes, and that we're hoping to grow through the next 10 years. Although we're very small, our goal is a pretty lofty one. We want to be the central, not just place of theater, but central cultural experience in Northwest Indiana, working in consortium with all of the other wonderful arts providers and arts organizations in this area, which we're starting to do now. If you're interested in coming to the Dunes, I hope you'll come and see our shows this summer. We'll be announcing the season in the next couple of weeks. But if you are interested in working on the board or contributing or just lending some of your expertise to us, we would be thrilled to have you. It's a wonderful organization. As I say, I am very, very happy to be part of it now. And I hope that we will see you out of Michiana Shores this summer for our next season at the Dunes Summer Theater. So there you go. We have left some propaganda for you. It's brightly colored, and it will, so that you won't lose it. And I'll tell you a little bit about us. But I now have time, I think, to answer questions, or I have a monologue prepared if you'd like to see me. I don't think you do. Yes.
Where did you study?
I studied at the University of Kansas. I grew up in a suburb of Kansas City, and I went to school where it was cheap because I had to. Fortunately, most of my classmates at the University of Kansas were from the Chicago area, and so that's kind of when I first made my ties to Chicago. And then I went to graduate school in Denver and worked in Colorado for a while, and then I came to Chicago. So there are good theater programs all over the place. Tulane has a lovely theater program, by the way, and a great playwriting. Yeah,
How many plays do you do in a season?
we do
Does the
this.
season run from and to?
The season runs from late May to the middle of August. This year, we'll be doing 3 plays, 2 musicals, and a non-musical play, and a cabaret presentation. We did our first one of those last year out at Friendship Gardens, and it was very, very successful. So we're going to do it again, either at Friendship Gardens or in our own theater. And we may travel it around to other theaters in the area. We're talking to some other theaters now about possibly doing it. So, yeah.
What body of work are you most proud of?
That's like asking a parent who his favorite child is. I don't have.
We're honest, they always have.
Yeah, they do. Don't they? Yeah. Boy, I don't, I think some of the things that I'm proudest of have, although I've, done plays with all sorts of different people, are the plays I've done with my students at Roosevelt University. We did a production a few years ago of Angels in America, which is a very ambitious, very difficult play. And it was a wonderful experience for everybody involved. It turned out very well, and the audience is like, which is great. But more than that, it happened to a time that they'd only read about, and they kind of lapped up the information and the experience in ways that I really haven't seen before. So those are the kinds of experiences that I really go for. I consider theater kind of my ongoing graduate school. That's where I learn about life, and hopefully the people that I'm working with will learn about that too. So, yeah.
As a young adult, I had the opportunity to be in several shows on the Dune stage. So what are the plans for opening casting to local folks?
We will start auditions later this winter, and we will be holding casting sessions in Michigan City and maybe in other areas of Northwest Indiana. We would love to have locals.
Are those announced like in the schools?
They will be announced, yeah, everywhere we can figure out to announce. Yeah. If nothing else, they will be in the Beecher, but we'll make sure that everybody knows. Yeah.
I've been enjoying the Dune Summer Theater since 1962, and my wife was on the board for a couple of terms. So,
good.
And we've had kids in children's theater with Nora McCall.
Yes.
But my question is, did you know?
I've had a house out here for years, so I used to go to the Dunes as an audience member. And I met Basil at one point then, but everything I hear about him makes me think that he was a really inspiring figure, as was Nora. I mean, the people who started in children's theater with her are still a tight group, 40 years later.
I can still see Basil in Kismet and South Pacific and My Fair Lady. He just brought something to Michigan City that was unique and talent, amazing, just a wonderful person. Really made a big thing for those of us who grew up when I.
That's wonderful. I am constantly inspired by the stories that I hear from people who have had experiences of the Dunes and who've been fans of the Dunes for 50 years and more, and realize what a special place it holds in the heart of this community. And we're trying to expand that through the next few years and really kind of make an indelible mark on our community. So wish me luck. Hopefully we will. Yes.
Back off of Matt's question on the casting, it's a residency that they're serving in, or is it one show and then they're done?
It's usually show by show. There are some actors who are contracted for more than one show, but it really kind of depends on the season and all of that. So I haven't exactly figured out what the casting algorithm is going to be for this year.
There used to be housing on.
There is some housing on, yeah, we were the inventors of tiny houses, I think. But, yeah.
Anybody that grew up in
Yeah, yes, and when I go into those houses, I immediately need to leave because, you know, I take up the whole space. But yeah, and last year, we actually had actors who worked in both shows and stayed there for the entire summer and had a great time.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll hopefully have some hybrid of that this year. All right.
Well,
listen,
thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much.
Nobody gets to leave because I have a sergeant at arms here who has volunteered to be our sergeant for today. And he said, we can't miss this chance to raise some funds. So why don't we have Dr. Bruce Smith come up here and be our sergeant for today?
All right. So we have a Queen of Hearts that will draw for here and there. How much money is in the Queen of Hearts?
First of all, the last time Clarence was here, he pulled the ticket, but we didn't have any cards. So he gets to pull, he gets to pull the deck first.
Would you mind sending this back there?
The Queen of Hearts is worth $40 in draw.
Two away. You know what? I have the one sense of humor.
Oh, it's a great scene.
Well, he's a John. Yeah, John.
That's
John.
I know, that's why I said that. Yeah, I know, for sure, it's a game on Friday or Saturday.
Last week.
Then I might go.
Right here.
I don't know.
But it's almost like.
So let's go. What we want to do is just announcements good for the order. So let's start at this table. Family events, successes within your family, whatever you want to say.
So I have $20 to all the students that are here today. Good to see you all. Some I know, Lawson, Leah, nice to see you. Just read Leah got awarded numerous scholarships recently for my house posting, so it's good. And our new Strive students, so my new Strive mentee, one of my many mentees that we have a very interesting. Brianna wants to be a surgeon or a lawyer, so I'm hoping to be able to have somebody to borrow some money from one day. Just a little older. Then also tonight starts the night for, if anybody knows, my son Malik is very important to me. So basketball season starts tonight. It's our first game, and Malik has been in the paper before with his dad. It was the first time yesterday Malik was in the paper himself for being a returning starter for. Of course, I had to say Gold Slicers. Only for basketball season, but for the Fort High School basketball team. So that's my announcement, and also good to see all the mentees here or mentors here also today. Got to see my boss's wife and send him a picture to get him, you know, going together. Sorry about that tomorrow at the office, but So $20. Thank you.
We know Marty's gonna look good in orange. Pat,
Oh, my. I've got $20. I want to say thank you to Mr. Scott for the nice presentation and many, many happy memories of the summer theater. So anybody that hasn't experienced that, take my word for it, you'll enjoy it. And also I want to wish good luck to the young woman who's going to Tulane. And that's you. My wife's a graduate of Sophie Newcomb College of Tulane. She loved it. She did very well, so I wish you good luck there too. Thanks, Dad.
this table?
I can't let these guys out with me, so I'm gonna do 20.
Well,
it might be around. That's for all the Stride students that are here today and the mentors. Thank you very much for volunteering. As I said before, this is a great program I've been involved in. And we had before, and I'm glad that Cindy and Brody brought it back to us. I'm very thrilled about that. And go to Michigan City tomorrow night, semi-state. And I just want to say my nephew, Marion Hatch, watch that name, because he's one of the star players on this.
So the mark now is $30 to speak, okay? Ms. Sarah said, go city, so tomorrow, about 3:30, the police department, fire department, and other first responders will be given a team escort from the high school to Ainsfield, so please line up, and I'll tell you the route, we're gonna go down Paz to Woodland to 20, down Franklin, all the way to 4th, and then back up Washington, back to the Ainsfield. So please align Row of Franklin for support our team. First time semi-state's gonna be here in Michigan City. So it's a big to do for our boys and for our city. So please come out. If you don't come to the game, at least come out and root them on there as we give them an escort to the Ainsfield. That 3:30, we're leaving the high school. So I'll say about 3:30. Franklin.
Great. Marty, can you give us that route again?
Oh, yeah.
How about this thing?
I was gonna say that, was Marty paid $10 for it.
I will say, just because there's so many educational people in here, the Michigan City Chamber of Commerce does an education award every year. Nominations are open right now, end of next Friday. It's open to any school within the Michigan City area, public and private, to nominate either an educator or an educational program. If you would like more information on that, please let me know. I will make sure to send you a nomination form, but we would love to have you nominate all of those great teachers and educators and educational programs that are growing up our kids here in Michigan City. So.
Yes.
I found this 20 under my daughter's bed as I was. But I would just like to thank the daughters for having me, and I'd like to just tell my students how proud I am of you guys today. And I know it's a kind of a nerve-wracking thing to come to something like this where you not know anyone and you all been fabulous. And you're gonna learn a lot of skills by doing this kind of stuff. And so I just appreciate you all, and I hope you have fun today, and I appreciate all of you, and for your hard work working with these students, and I have heard nothing but wonderful things about this program, and I'm happy to work with Miss Joycey about it, and I'm happy to be doing it, and hopefully again I can do it next year, and so I look forward to seeing everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Do I have to stand?
No, you can sit.
I'd like to get $20 for our students that are here today, and they got their tuition. And I'd like to give another $10 to the polio. And then I'd like to give her another $1 because it's $2 or so I got. Ready to go ahead.
Yes, Maggie, sorry.
I've got $3, Maggie Sparks from Community Foundation, mostly just to remind people of why that story about Pastor Carroll is so important, because he is a polio survivor. And I grew up knowing people with polio, and, you know, it was just a weird thing, because nobody knew what to do about it. So we know what to do about it, and I'm so excited as a Rotarian that we only have 2 countries left before we can eradicate polio off the face of the earth. So I'm excited about that.
Just $20 for the Strive students and mentors.
Nice. Very good.
So for the Strive, and thank you all the students for coming out, and like you said, I know we were here already, but I promise it will pay off.
Hey, all the students, I just want to say, you know, your city is changing rapidly, and we don't want you to leave town, so we got all the jobs right here in the city. Construction, architecture, manufacturing, arts, education, is all here in the city. Please don't leave. Education, come back home. We'll take care.
Yeah, $5 for our Strive students and especially for my guest here today, Adrian.
Susie.
Oh, sorry.
I have $20 for the Strive students and everybody who has volunteered to help them. And a little bit extra for my wonderful husband who's joining me in the process.
$10 for me and my Mixie, $1 for, not the slicers, but the slicer. Go see, go see.
Jim.
I have a few numbers for Susie, and probably don't know, but Susie had cataract surgery about 7 years ago, and it didn't go well. She lost part of the vision in one of her eyes, and she failed her driving test twice because your driver's license expires, and so she was not driving. And she went last Friday, and she ran out to the car, grabbed her purse and said, "I passed." Huge deal.
Jim, I've got to give it you with a name like Scott. Let's say enunciate better.
Maybe I'll try acting, huh? Jim Wellborn, President Wellborn.
Yes, I got $10. I've got $1 for our speaker, $1 for the Strive students, $1 for the mentors, $1 for Marty's pink bow tie. Where'd he go? He took his pink tie and left. Now the rest for the Strive students. So, there you go.
Nice. All right.
I've got 20 for all of our students, especially the Marquette students. Our family has ties to high school. So I kind of sit on my hands. And somebody left blue.
You don't need them anymore.
Jim.
My daughter, who works at the State Department, as most of you know me know, wrote a paper about Cuba and sent it off to the State Department, and the Secretary of State picked that article up and said, "Hey, this is good. Put his name on it and publish it." She graduated from Marquette, by the way.
So I've got $1. I got $10. I have a couple dollars for the students from Marquette. I enjoyed chatting with you today, Leah, and his brother, and my youngest daughter, Isabella, started grade school at Notre Dame when they were 3 years old, 3, 4. So I've known Colin And he's gonna make a difference. He has another brother that they're gonna end up going to Purdue, and it's great to see you here today. Also, just for my own family, I have a senior, Isabella, at Chesterton, and she runs cross country, and their team finished third in the state on Columbus North this year. She was the number 7 runner for Chesterton. She got to run in the state meet, and now we're doing the college stuff. She's getting recruited for her 400 meters, and she made principal's honor roll this first quarter. So we got a lot going on in our family. So it's nice to brag about that. But Rotarians, you have been so generous today. Thank you very much. That helps us support and do things within the community. And good luck to all the Strive students. You're going to enjoy the program. See you soon.
Good job. All right, I'm gonna say one last thing before we adjourn the meeting. Nicole Manning over here is going to be our president next year. I say that so that the rest of you Rotarians that are here that are not doing anything lately, she's looking for board members, she's looking for a secretary, she's looking for people to fill on the officer and board staff for next year. So see Nicole and tell her, yes, I'm more than happy to help out. Okay, with that, does anybody have any questions?
I wish I would have known that before I did my, because that's exciting. I'm really excited. She's done some volunteer stuff and worked with us at the chamber, and I mean, she's just been amazing. Her work ethic is awesome, and you've really jumped all in. The Rotary and other things as you come into this role at General Insurance, and that's exciting. I'm really excited. I appreciate that. That's sweet.
And she's gonna bring a brand new Rotarian with her when she starts too.
Yeah, my baby or?
A very small Rotarian.
I'll bring all three.
There you go, yes. Twins and a newborn, that'd be good, yes. Anybody else? If not, again, thank you all for coming. I hope your Strive program works real good and you have a good time with it. And for the rest of you Rotarians, I'll see you next week. Oh, by the way, next week, we're meeting the day before Thanksgiving. We're meeting on Wednesday, Emmanuel Lutheran Church on the corner of Cool Spring and Woodlawn. And it's a joint meeting with the Lions Club. Our speaker is going to be our Chief of Police, Dion, and he's bringing with him 7 additional speakers from the the police department. And so they'll be giving us what they're doing in the community as far as community policing goes. One of those speakers is our old pink tie Marty over here as well. So, yes, ma'am.
One last thing, dinner with the Strive program, a week from Monday, the 29th, at Barker Hall, which is in Trinity Church at 6th and Franklin. Thank you.
At 5:30.
5:30.
Okay.
We're gonna have dinner and fun and a program. It's gonna be great.
Anybody else?
I want to thank Susie for helping me do that one interview for the paper. She did a wonderful job. Everybody did a wonderful job. Thank you, Susie.
You're welcome.
All right. Okay, see you guys next week. Have a good Strive program. We are adjourned. Official adjournment.